Here we go. This is definitely it. Sinking. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Hey guys, welcome to the ace match. Yes, the epic ace match between SKT and OGN. OGN putting forth Luxury, who is their best player in my opinion. He's going to be starting the upper right hand corner in blue, and it looks like he's going to get the scout correct straight off. He's sending it straight to Bisu's base. Bisu being put forth by SKT. Both players playing a little bit unsteady in this matchup. I think Luxury, we haven't seen him play since he lost to Best in a very, very frustrating way. I felt like he had that pinned down. And it just couldn't buy it, couldn't get it. I felt like that was his OSL to win. I think he might have actually put up a better fight against July in the finals, but of course all of that passed, all of that speculation. But Luxury looks like he's not going for anything too crazy. He's probably going to settle into some sort of standard build here. The question is what's Bisu going to do? I think Bisu, the more pressure's on Bisu to be creative in this matchup. Zerg versus Protoss has been very much in the Zerg's favor, in my opinion, across the map set. So I'm going to be really curious to see what he does.
Yeah, it looks like Bisu's getting his scout off early enough, and that is key for Bisu. So he's going to get the scout into Luxury's base and see exactly what his opponent is up to. It's just a question of whether that Overlord sees that probe. I think he's actually going to miss it. Luxury looks like he might be going for a 12 hatchery build here, potentially. I think he's got that second Overlord out. So it'll be interesting to see exactly. No, he hasn't yet. But yeah, I think Luxury's going to go for a 12 hatchery build. It'll be down to Bisu to really stop him and beat him, and the Overlord is out. So yeah, it looks like Luxury definitely going for a 12 hatch build. But Bisu's got his probe in, and that's key because he's going to be able to get the scout in and see exactly what Luxury's doing. He's going to have that little bit of an advantage. Luxury's Overlord is going to float in sooner rather than later anyway, and Bisu might be able to delay this. Okay, the probe actually just going out. I thought the probe was going out to take the natural exploit. Luxury being very clever here, sending 2 drones out. One towards the expo that's not as easily defendable as well as the other one, just in case Bisu was trying to harass with the probe. So Luxury managed to get the expansion out, so he's gone for 12 hatchery build. Bisu's got to be aware of this. It looks like Bisu's actually going for a Nexus straight away in his natural expo, and I think this might be a smart move by Bisu, especially since he's got the scout off.
You know, Luxury's taking a huge risk putting his second base outside of his choke area. That could work against him because sometimes what a Protoss player could potentially do here is he could try to wall off Luxury with Zealots and harass that second base. And of course, that second base being outside the natural choke, it's going to be much harder for Luxury to defend unless he really sunks that up. But then that could allow Bisu to just walk right past that natural expansion and just go right into Luxury's main base. We'll see how that works out for him. One thing hopefully we do not see this game is the Bisu face. I really don't want to see Bisu open his mouth like we saw during the MSL finals. I really don't want to see Bisu pull off anything like that because we'll just hammer him about it for just forever and ever. So now Bisu looks like he's putting a pylon in. Looks like Luxury's natural expansion there. I don't know what that pylon's going to be used for. Is he going to try to put cannons up there? No, it looks like he canceled the pylon now. Maybe he's just trying to block that drone from going down, and probe coming back just a little bit too late to prevent that third hatchery from coming down. So now Luxury doing exactly what I think he might have tried is he's going to try to secure those 3 bases, try to get that 3 gas, and then just try to tech as quickly as possible up to to mid-game tech and to the late-game tech, and just try to overpower Bisu and keep Bisu contained on just his 2 bases and try to stop the harass. It's going to be interesting to see what Bisu tries to do here, and still no gas for Luxury either, so he's not going to have those speed leads to really chase down those probes, that probe in his main base, and stop him. So now Bisu only warping in 1 cannon. There are Zerglings moving down. That 1 cannon, if those Zerglings decide to run past, that 1 cannon should be able to pick off quite a few of them. And so now 4th hatchery going down for Luxury. It looks like he might be trying to go for some kind of all-in Zergling strat here. That's just insane, putting down the 4th hatchery right now and not going for gas. I mean, he is now getting the gas, but I mean, going for that 4 hatchery on 3 base, is he just expecting to just start powering drones and not expect Bisu to harass him? I mean, what is Luxury thinking?
Wow, Luxury, yeah, I've got to assume he's going to go into a Hyperlist build here. 4th hatchery before Den, though. That's pretty, anyway, and before even Gas. So Gas now going down. Keep in mind, Bisu plays very well when he gets the scout, and he's done a fantastic job keeping that scout alive. You notice what a lot of Zerg players have been doing lately is they've been producing additional Zerglings to try to take the scout out, but right now Luxury not doing anything at all against that scout. Still has that Overlord wandering in the base. Stargate now going up for Bisu, and it doesn't look like Luxury's in position to even spot that out. I think that Overlord's going to get caught inside the base, taken down. Luxury playing a little bit stale, in my opinion. He didn't push the front door when there was only a single cannon going down. He had a lot of Zerglings to push into Bisu's base. Bisu didn't even produce a Zell. There's only one cannon in defense, and it looks like Bisu is in fact going to go for the Corsair Reaver build that we've been seeing out of him lately. With the there's finally the Hydralisk Den. And Gas alongside that, Dragoon is going to be able to take out that Overlord alongside. It's not gonna, and that's going to set Luxury somewhat back. Usually you want to get that Overlord at least somewhat near an exit in the meantime. But yeah, my guess here is we're going to see that standard Ser Reaver combination with the Gate and the D-Web. Corsair already going to be produced, and this is really unfortunate for Luxury because usually we want to look. And actually, interesting. You know, I got to assume that's Air One. He's finally managed to get. He hasn't even killed that probe inside the base. There's Bisu's going to get continuous scouting. The probe's been there the entire time, and then it's going to be able to just float that Corsair and get scouting straight front to back. He knows what Luxury's doing, and he's and again, you can't beat Bisu if you don't take out the scout.
Well, actually, that probe was ushered away from the unprotected Expo out of the side of the unprotected Expo, and he hasn't been able to get back in because Bisu has, Luxury had blocked his front door with the Zerglings. But now, because the only thing that Bisu hasn't seen is that Hydralisk Den. He saw the 4th hatchery, but after that the probe was ushered away, so he hasn't seen the Hydralisk Den. He probably hasn't seen the massive Hydralisk, but it does look like Luxury has willingly surrendered air superiority to Bisu for the moment. I think Bisu now getting the robotic support bait down. I think Bisu could have afforded to put a second Stargate down. Luxury now getting the Spire down, so he's obviously got the Hydralisk to cope with in the meantime. Bisu trying to find some Overlords to snipe, but not really being able to do so because Luxury does have those Hydralisks in position. And so both players set up decently well. I still think Bisu is probably in a really good position because he's basically been able to execute the build that he wanted to without too much harass from his opponent. He's also got air control, air superiority, which is going to allow him to exert control over the map. And even though and I think that's going to really work out in his favor in the long run. Bisu just pushing out with his Dragoons and Zealots, and really, I think Bisu's going to have those Reavers in play.
Oh, no.
Luxury has got that lair take up. I think Luxury might be trying to go for some sort of a drop. Luxury just managed to get a surround on Bisu's Dragoon, picking it off. Bisu losing the Dragoon. Careless by Bisu, and Luxury now managed to circumvent those Zealots with the Zerglings. Is he going to try and run through into Bisu's base? I don't think he is. I think Bisu will be able to defend that, but Luxury's got all of his Dragoon Overlords bunched up, and Luxury's actually managed to get into Bisu's base, but he's only got 2 Zerglings surviving. I don't think they're going to do too much damage to Bisu's economy. Bisu's going to be forced to micro a little bit here, so a little bit careless and sloppy by Bisu. Also being scouted by Luxury, although Luxury I'm sure knew what Bisu had, but he wouldn't know if Bisu had chosen to try and get maybe the second target down or not. But anyway, I think Bisu's going to be happy enough with his current position because he's going to get that Reaver out, and even though, and really a Zerg player, if they're going for this sort of build, they really need to try and break the front door almost before the Protoss can really get that Reaver Sarah into action and going. It gets very hard to defend once it's up and running.
And a little bit careless by Luxury, losing his Zerglings inside of Bisu's base. Looks like they were just kind of on hold position. Those Zealots just came over and sniped him before they could move away. But Luxury got the scout, got the information he needed. He's confirmed that Bisu is going for the Corsair Reaver. But unfortunately, what Luxury has not been doing, he's been not trying to snipe those Corsairs with Scourge at all. I haven't seen any Scourge at all from Luxury. And that's one thing you got to do against Protoss. And that's what we saw in the OSL finals. July Zerg just did an amazing job against Best and Andromeda, just sniping those Corsairs as soon as they came out, just trying to keep those Corsair numbers down. And we see Luxury not really doing that. He's trying to break. It looks like those Corsairs are now roaming around the map. There are Scourge out, and they got an Overlord. Those Corsairs got an Overlord, but really they're at critical mass now. When you get about 5 or 6 Corsairs together, they're at critical mass, especially with the +1 weapon upgrade. There's nothing will get close to those Corsairs. Scourge will not get close to those Corsairs at all. You can see Luxury trying to chase down that one Corsair. Kane is able to pick it off, and now Beast was at critical mass of Corsairs. He's got 2 Reavers in that shuttle. He's moving out. Luxury trying to take a mineral-only expansion. What he's trying to do now is he's trying to get so many expansions that Bisu will not be able to, get as many drones when he does attack an expansion. That's kind of the drawback of a build, the Bisu Sarah build, is that you can only attack one expansion at a time unless you got amazing micros. So now Bisu coming in with the Reavers, getting off a Scarab shot. Unfortunately, that Scarab just gets stuck. No, it gets through and kills 3 drones. It actually manages to sneak past that hatchery, finally get in and kill 3 drones. So that's not going to do a ton of damage to Luxury, but now he's going to be forced to replace the 150 minerals and waste those 3 eggs that he could have used for fighting units into replacing drones. Now Speedless trying to get out. Oh, the shuttle almost going down. The shuttle almost going down. Oh, but Bisu managed to pull that shuttle out and just in the nick of time. One Corsair takes the hit to save that shuttle, but Bisu almost super careless. If Bisu had lost that shuttle, he would have been in a world of pain right there if he had lost that shuttle. So now Bisu is still able to move out. Now he's going to move out to take his 3rd base. That could be potentially dangerous with Luxury now taking his 4th base. getting his economy still going strong. He has a lot of hatcheries, he's able to replace drones, get his econ up very strong. So Bisu, he has those Reavers. He needs to be offensive with those Reavers. He cannot stay defensive too long with those Reavers, or he's going to lose his game. And now you can see him moving up now with a large force of Zealots and his Dragoon, and of course his Reaver. I think what he's going to try to do is he's going to try to lure those Hydralisks out into the open, so he can either take them out with the Reavers or try to move in to hit the economy line of Luxury.
So, interestingly enough, it looks like Bisu doesn't have a lot of ground attack forces. He's switching to a lot of gateways. So, faking Corsair Reaver, he's got a couple, but he's only built a single shuttle, now producing a lot of Zealots. Switching into, I guess, a Templar build. He's got the Citadel of Down, maybe even Speed Zealots. And I think he might catch Luxury out of position here with a lot of these Zealots. Yeah, in fact, catching him out of position. Luxury, thinking he's facing Corsair Reaver, realizing he needs to get a lot of mobility around the map. Usually what happens in Corsair Reaver is you end up with a much less mobile force with the Hydralisks. So you try to expand all over the place so the Reavers have to go to multiple places, but Bisu very cleverly switching to the big air build, now pushing in. He might be able to take out two hatcheries at once, big Hydralisk force coming in beneath, and leaving the two Reavers from behind, but he might be able to pick off the second hatchery. He needs to focus fire on it. Don't think he's going to be able to. I think there's one Reaver left, going to split the Hydralisk force. Hydralisk coming in, oh, shuttle taken out, and that's it for Bisu's attack right there, and he's going to have to pull out now, and I feel like things have really swung into Luxury's favor. A lot of Corsairs taking free hits from that Spore Colony in the meantime. Luxury had a pretty heavy production. He's lost base. Bisu trying to expand one more time. I don't know if he's going to be able to defend it with what he's got at the moment, though.
Yeah, losing that shuttle with the Reavers in it is going to hurt Bisu big time, but he did do significant damage, and even before he went in with the Zealots, he did get a few drone kills on Luxury's natural expo as well, so that's going to hurt him. Luxury, cleverly enough, scouting with the Scourge. He's got a Scourge coming out, he's retaking that mineral expo, so fairly balanced game right now, but now Luxury sees a chance to push forward, and he might even be trying to go for a drop here, push forward and take that undefended expo, because Bisu's lost his Reavers and he lost his shuttle, and without that, Bisu's going to really struggle to defend this. Bisu's got speed up Blizzard, and Bisu's in huge trouble here right now, because Luxury's taking out most of those Zealots. Those Zealots are going down, and Luxury's got a huge weight of numbers on his side. Bisu's photon cannon just not warping in time for him to hold that defense, and Luxury's now doing a two-pronged attack. Bisu's managed to get a couple more Zealots out, and this might be the closing part of the game here. Luxury might be closing this game out. Bisu's got that Reaver, but he's got no way of getting it into that unprotected expo, and he's going to lose that nexus to Luxury's highly stationary for a second there. Unfortunately for Bisu, this is going to be pretty much GG.
And now we can see Bisu just pulling back all of his forces inside his base. He's got that one Reaver, and that's gonna be a saving grace. If he can somehow decimate Luxury's force here, he'll might come out slightly ahead. But then again, Luxury's still gonna have those forward bases.
Reaver getting picked off. Hydralisk still 3 evolution chambers, and Bisu doesn't have a single attack unit on the ground. Luxury has map control at this point. Corsairs, they don't attack ground. Looks like Luxury's gonna switch to some sort of hive tech. Honestly, he can do everything with that hive. There's gonna be a single Dark Templar out in the field, and that is gonna be one advantage because they don't see any Overlords in the area. But honestly, Bisu's getting this third expansion up very late comparatively to the upper level hive tech for Luxury. And Luxury in the meantime has complete map control. And losing more Corsairs. Oh, Bisu being very careless, losing 2 Corsairs there. Honestly, I'm not sure what Bisu can do to get back into this. He's struggling to get his third base up, and he's just getting contained now by Luxury. I feel like Luxury's in firm control.
Yeah, Luxury has taken control of the game. Bisu was trying to be a little bit too clever with that big push that he made. He did a good job. He took out that mineral-only expansion with the Zealots, but then he decided to plant his Reavers inside Luxury's base. And Luxury was clever. He knew he had Hydralisk on the one side behind Bisu's forces, and he immediately brought in Hydralisk in his main, realizing that was the only direction in which Bisu could run with his shuttle, and therefore intercepted it. And that's what really changed the game. And that one sniping move, he pretty much won the game for him. It looks like he's got 2 upgrades, level 2 on the spines, level 1 on the Carapace. And Bisu is in huge trouble because those 3 evolution chambers are working overtime and now getting lurkers up as well. Bisu is managing to take that expansion finally, but looks like Luxury is going to do another counter at that attack and going to attack that unprotected expo from the north. And you can see the OGN team cheering Luxury because they know that Bisu's in trouble. Bisu's got a couple of Dark Templar along with that Reaver there, and I don't think Luxury's got a speed upgrade Overlords, or at least he hasn't got Overlords in the vicinity. So Bisu's might be able to just hold this defense and usher away those units. And Luxury's actually lost a lot of units there, and he's allowing Bisu slightly back into this game, but he still has a firm lead.
One thing Luxury did accomplish with that attack, despite losing quite a bit of forces, is he forced Bisu to cancel that nexus. So again, Bisu even further behind on taking his third base, and now here comes Luxury with the lurkers, and of course Bisu, I don't even know if he's built an observatory, but he must have by now, knowing that Luxury is stuck with the Hydra so long. He's got to be smelling lurkers, he's got to have an observatory down. But there was really, I mean, with those lurkers out, it's going to be even harder for Bisu to pressure, because right now a lot of his gas is going back and trying to replace those Reavers, and he's mainly sticking to Zealots. And now here come those lurkers. Reavers getting a couple shots out. Observer coming in at the time. Looks like those Hydras might try to snipe that Observer if Bisu isn't careful, because there is an Overlord on the scene. Hydra's trying to get in close, not going to be able to do it. Those Reavers just utterly decimating Luxury's force at the back door. But now you can see Luxury coming in for a Speedling squad at the front door. Archon and a couple High Templar. They're High Templar morphing into Archons themselves. And Bisu holds! Bisu holds the front door. He doesn't even lose that one Archon. And now Luxury, I think he's just wasted a lot of units here in those 2 failed attacks. And Bisu could come back into this game. You can see a shuttle moving up with those Reavers. But now Scourger out. The Scourger chasing the shuttles. Where are the Corsairs? Where are the Corsairs? Those Corsairs, any projectile shuttles? There's just not enough Corsairs. Oh, and Luxury pulls back. Not able to catch it to the shuttle. So, wow, this is just back and forth, back and forth. Bisu could climb his way back into this game if Luxury can't keep Bisu from taking that third.
Bisu, yeah, it feels like Bisu's getting himself right back in this game here. Luxury just sending forces in, not really microing them all that well, and just Bisu exploiting that gap, having Dark Templars in the mix. And that Reaver just basically where the units had to pile in. Reaver Scarabs were just dominant there, blowing up all over the Zerg units, causing blood to just spurt everywhere right on that ramp. So Bisu really using the map artifact to full advantage. Now going to go up with a crack squad. I got to assume there's a Reaver and probably 2 Zealots inside. A Psystorm drop, I'm sorry. And catching a lot of the drones in there. I would say he probably got 6 or 7 drones. Probably wanted more than that. And it looks like he's going to pull off. I expect him to go more, but it looks like Spore Colonies going up in the meantime. Still feel like Luxury has map control, so I still feel like he has the advantage. He's also got the Defiler tech going up, but yeah, Bisu with the 3rd base, that's got to be somewhat scary. We'll see if Bisu can somehow get out of this, but it looks like his main's running somewhat dry. So just down to his secondary, just down to that 3rd base. He's still pretty much contained. He can't really push out and take another base and defend both locations at once, especially with Luxury's gigantic attack force out in the air, and it looks like Luxury might just be content to go with the contain game at this point until he feels like he's got an upgrade advantage. Right now, looking at level 2 Spines, level 1 Carapace. Another attack coming up for Bisu, another Storm drop. Oh, it's been spotted out. Will he be able to Scourge along the way? He is going to be able to get the Storm, but it looks like he's only catching about 2 Scourge in there, and there goes the dropship. And these poor Templar caught behind enemy lines. It's like that movie Behind Enemy Lines, Templar edition. Just getting wiped out there. The Zergling's being produced here in the meantime, and yeah, and the drone's being pushed back, and Zergling's being. That's a lot of attacking is for just a single Templar. Poor guy getting worked. Now Bisu's going to go out, and I think this is going to be the desperation attack for all while he expands at the same time. But I don't think it's going to accomplish much, honestly.
Yeah, Bisu's probably got 1 shot, 1 attack that he can commit, and if he can just out-micro his opponent completely, he might be able to win. He's just pushing his forces out to try and take that mineral-only expansion, I think, try and secure that. The key thing we haven't seen is we haven't seen any drops from Luxury yet, because Luxury has obviously surrendered the map control to Bisu, but I don't see these Corsairs. Bisu has conserved some of those Corsairs, and that's what's allowed him to stay back in the game, because he's managed to pick up those Overlords and use those DTs to advantage. Bisu not taking that mineral-only expansion. But yeah, I agree that Luxury is probably in a much stronger. Bisu does have about 5 Corsairs, but Luxury is in a much stronger position because he's got those expansions up and running at the 11 o'clock natural and main as well now, and Bisu just with a smaller sized force. And Plague, Bisu, well done by Bisu. He managed to avoid. It was a good maneuver by Luxury, and Bisu on the one hand doing well, avoiding getting most of his units caught in that Plague, but on the other hand making a gross error of getting drawn in to follow the Defiler almost into within range of the Lurkers. But Luxury is got control of the map. Protoss players though can survive. They can survive and fight back. We've seen it happen before, though they have to do really well. A couple of Dragoons getting caught out. Bisu needs to Bisu doing well enough. Luxury trying to use the maneuverability advantage, trying to get those Zerglings around, trying to find probing for weak spots. Bisu doing everything in his power to try and get back into this game. He tried to use the drop shuttles and the drops. He lost, unfortunately, lost the shuttle. He's got another shuttle out. He's got a couple of Reavers. That massive Plague catching off the Reavers critically and a couple of the Dragoons. The Archons won't mind. They won't. The Plague won't bother them. And that's the one thing in Bisu's favor, that the Plague has covered a few of the Archons, but those Reavers, it's going to hurt.
And also got that shuttle as well, so now that shuttle, pretty much one hit from anything is going to just decimate that shuttle and the transportation of the Reaver. So now you can see Luxury trying to flank with those Lurkers, but no! Bisu gets off a lot of storms on those Lurkers! Luxury lost his whole entire Lurker force there! He has lost so many Lurkers in that attack, and that's really going to set Luxury back. But you know, Luxury, I keep forgetting, he has that whole top left-hand corner. He's got the gas to be able to replace it, but now Bisu moving up the pressure, and now Luxury also coming in. He came in with a bunch of Zerglings, Cracklings now, taking down Bisu's mineral only, and that's going to hurt Bisu so much now that he's lost that mineral only. He moved a lot of his army out into the middle of the map, trying to put pressure on Luxury, and was unable to do so. And then Dark Templar now trying to come in and pick off those Zerglings, and but still Bisu losing that mineral only, that's a huge advantage to Luxury, despite Luxury losing a lot of his ground army. Now Bisu just trying to push in, just trying to do as much damage to Luxury's economy as he can before Luxury macros up an army, and just using the side sword very effectively. But now those Reavers are going down. Wow, tons of Zerglings just coming out of nowhere, surrounding those Reavers and picking them off since they have such low HP. They just can't survive under such pressure.
I think that was Bisu's last hurrah. He's got that single Archon, which is trying to run away from the Lurker and the grouping of Zerglings, which are bearing down on him with the hungry teeth. And even giant balls of energy lose sometimes there. Bisu doing what he can with a couple of the Overlords. Some Corsairs chasing it down, but keep in mind, Luxury's storing up gas. He's got the Ultralisk in. I've got to assume that those eggs right there are Ultralisks. There's already some Ultralisks out actually already, and now Luxury's starting to push out. I just don't think Bisu can hold up against this this upcoming attack. Bisu desperately trying to get another expansion out. I just don't think he has the units to hold it. He's got that single, wow, all sorts of Sun Colonies as well as a Nidus Cadet going down. He might be able to catch this base if he has a Zealot or something in there, but I think he only has Templar. That's why he's backing off. But Luxury just in full saw mode. He's got all sorts of units all over the map, and there's the Ultralisks, scary. And I don't think that Bisu, yeah, I've seen one Archon on the screen, and not really anything else. And I don't think just the Psystorm and the one Archon, maybe the second one, she'll be morphed after it, are really going to be able to do this. And Bisu trying to do what he can, play going off the units that Bisu did have on the field. And now here comes the massive bone-crunching force. Psystorm out of position, going to be able to bleed a lot of the Zerglings off of that. Oh man, Bisu doing some excellent micro here, though, I have to say. And morphing that Archon to create a buffer between the Ultralisks and the other two Archons. But it's still too much. Luxury has too large an economy. The Ultralisks are going to bear down, even though they're not speed upgraded. And once again, another base of Bisu goes down. We're going to see reinforcements come momentarily.
Yeah, I think the reason Best isn't playing this is because he has been beaten by Zerg 3-0. And that's why they threw Bisu into the mix. I think Bisu had a small chance. When he won that big battle in the middle, I think he should have pulled back and defended his mineral only instead of sacrificing it and pushing ahead. I think he'd done enough damage to Luxury's army to give him a chance to get back in economically. But maybe he felt that he just couldn't. Maybe he felt he was too far behind and needed to inflict serious damage because he had his Reavers alive. He had most of his force. He could have pulled them all the way back. He didn't. And now it's pretty much GG, even though he's managed to usher away most of Luxury's ground forces. But he's not mining anywhere at all. Bisu actually right now, he's got no probes mining anywhere. And so it looks like OGN will be facing up against Samsung Khan in the grand finals. Bisu GG's. Good game of StarCraft, although I feel Bisu let himself down a little bit there.